I'm feeling pretty terrified, Martin. The future of, it feels a lot like a lot's at stake, the future of planet Earth here. Trump is a clear and present danger to our climate. Let's not forget that Roe versus Wade was repealed under his watch, so women's health care and women's rights are at risk, as well as kind of the whole world order. He is already showing that he might disrespect other sovereign nations' boundaries and so on. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty nervous.
Nevertheless, he is going to be the person in charge of the world's biggest economy and most powerful economy. How should we deal with him in that case? Should we deal with him?
There's a difference, I think, between dealing with Donald Trump and dealing with American businesses and American people, of course, because we do have a lot in common with a lot of American people. Lots of people in America don't support Trump either and are equally worried about what's happening there. But supporting, Scottish businesses to have good international relations, on both sides of the Atlantic with the EU and with America, of course, is important. But I think that's very different than supporting Donald Trump and his self-aggrandizing image of where he sits in the world.
But I don't necessarily think people will understand the distinction there. I mean, John Swinney was in the studio last week telling me he has a direct line to him and he's had a conversation with him that was very nice and pleasant and cordial and intends to keep the relationship going that way. Is that wrong?
The Scottish Greens have been very critical of John Swinney's what looks like sucking up to Donald Trump. And indeed, it looks like so many people around the world are. Are we really going to let a billionaire who doesn't respect the rule of law, who doesn't respect democracy, who doesn't respect the peaceful transfer of power, be the person that we want, that we admire and we want his approval? I think sticking to our principles and morals, peaceful transfer of power, rule of law, democracy, respect for human rights is the right thing to do. We don't change our principles because some rich guy got into the White House.
But you have to deal with people that you don't agree with all the time in politics. It's just how the world works, isn't it? I mean, what are you saying? If you were in charge of the independent Scotland you want to create, how would you deal with him?
The way we would have to deal with Donald Trump is the way we would deal with any other person that we couldn't trust who had a lot of power. And that means building up alliances with people who we can trust, where we do have common values. Of course, in the case of an independent Scotland, I would hope that would be the European Union, because there we have a group of nations committed to peace, democracy, common values, a common rule of law.
So you've got a lot of pretty right-wing politics creeping into the European Union right now. There's a lot of people Donald Trump is lining up as allies in the European Union who wouldn't be in the least bit aligned with you.
And that is, of course, one of the malign influences that Donald Trump has, is to support those far-right voices in the European Union. But the parts of the European Union, and I include Scotland in that, who believe in human rights, who welcome migrants, who understand that having immigrants into our society improves the vibrancy of our economy and makes us the kind of place that people want to come and live. And I'm proud of that for Scotland, and there's a lot of Europeans that feel the same.